So the biggest deal in professional wrestling is about to go down. And no, we're not talking about when WWE bought WCW. This is something a lot bigger because when WWE bought WCW, WCW went out of business. The company went under. They got the library. They took some of the stars, but WCW was pretty much never heard from again after WWE bought them until they got the network and they started archiving all their footage, and that went down, and that's what happened there. We all know how that worked. Now, there's been a lot of rumors of WWE wanting to buy TNA, and Billy Corgan wanted to buy TNA. Well, what it looks like is going to be going down here because we have Jim Ross coming out and we have Justin LaBar coming out saying that WWE only wants the tape library of TNA. Now, what does that leave for the rest, right? What is going to happen for the rest? Well, Justin LaBar says just got a text from WWE to buy TNA video library, and Billy Corgan is likely going to be the new majority owner of TNA that he can rebrand. Wow. And let me talk about this, though, before I get into that opinion on what I think of that. Let's talk about Billy Corgan on ESPN. So Billy was on there. He was talking about TNA and how it was like a miracle. You needed a miracle to make the pay-per-view happen. And then we went down to the pay-per-view and it happened and it was fine and whatever. But he did also say that WWE had an interest in buying it. And he said, you know what? WWE is the only ones that know professional wrestling and make it successful. There are so many different ways that you can make professional wrestling successful in this modern era of social media and all this stuff, but we just haven't seen the right people do the right things. He thinks he can, and he thinks that TNA needs a full overhaul branding and stuff like that. So we're looking at TNA getting a new owner in Billy Corgan and WWE owning the video library. And this is smart for WWE, right? WWE can pick up the video library that they want, and they can also pick up some of the stars that they think would be good for WWE NXT. So get some of the names that they think are great on TNA. I don't think like Damian Sandow would come back because they just released him from WWE, so that would be stupid. But, I mean, you could see some names that WWE really likes going over to TNA, which leaving a bunch of guys still left. And that will give Billy Corgan enough talent to actually make his own brand of professional wrestling. And this is smart for Billy, right? Because there's a lot of people who don't like TNA just based off of because of all the shenanigans that happened before with them changing direction 10,000 times and them being TNA or Impact Wrestling, and you don't really know. There's like so much branding issues on here that I'm not sure about because you see Impact Wrestling when it's on pay-per-views, but I thought Impact was only the show they do. So it's just very weird here what they're going to do here, but it was very weird with TNA and Impact and confusing and stuff like that. So Vince McMahon will have the largest archive ever of professional wrestling. He already does, but if they add TNA there, then they have TNA on there. They kind of just close the book on TNA and say, that is it. This is the end. We are done. Billy Corgan takes over. They keep the roster, whatever roster is left. They just rebrand the name. They could keep some of the titles, but I think they would change them up a little bit. Like X Division title could be cool if they did it properly. The Grand Champion is probably a Billy idea because I see him thinking of more of like out-of-the-box type titles, and that seems kind of out of the box. So that's probably his idea, so they probably keep that around. But the future of TNA is a strange, strange thing here, right? I think this is best for everybody in all of professional wrestling, right? Because the way we look at it, we're looking at Dixie Carter getting a payday here for selling it to WWE, the library. Billy Corgan's going to buy TNA, so he's going to have his own company like he wants. And then professional wrestling can continue on. Now, the big monkey wrench right here, though, is what's the deal with Global Force Wrestling? No, I don't know. I don't think that will ever get on TV. Whatever's happening with Global Force Wrestling, we'll never know. Not sure what Jeff Jarrett's plans are. By now, I figured they did TV tapings like a year ago or something. And by now, I figured they'd be on TV, but they're not. So, I don't understand. I don't know. But TNA getting a new vision, a new fresh look, a new coat of paint, I guess, with Billy Corgan taking over, becoming the new owner is something that I think will be good for TNA. I think that they've needed to do this. Like, they've needed a complete rebranding for a long time because they have lost their identity. Let's be true. Let's be honest. Let's be real here. TNA has not had a clear, true identity in a long, long time. And it's showing on their product because they have Impact Wrestling, but then they have TNA, and then they just decide to add a new title. The X Division title is about no limits, about weight limits. Then it's a cruiserweight. Then it's back to no limits. Then it just, you see what I'm saying here? So right now, officially, we don't have any final say on what's going to happen with Impact Wrestling, TNA, WWE, and Billy Corgan. We do confirm, though, that there are interested parties in buying TNA properties, whether it's the video library that WWE wants, whether it's Billy wanting to rebrand TNA and become the majority owner, and Dixie Carter probably looking to sell. I don't know. We don't know if that's 100% true, but we can speculate because Billy's saying that there are multiple parties interested in it. He wants to make a wrestling company, and he thinks that WWE is also looking to bid on the company as well. So that is what we're looking at here for Impact Wrestling. And honestly, this is such a strange time in professional wrestling, right? Because the independent scene has blown up, and it's pretty much like a territory days, I would look at. This is the closest we'll probably ever get to territory days again. Just because there's so much great independent wrestling, and WWE is actually working with these independent promotions like Evolve, and you think of like how such a weird time it is going to be with the WWE Network. It's all about content, and I think in this day and age where videos are very, very profitable, it is about content. I know I'm saying that word over and over, and it sounds repetitive. But let me just look. Like, there's identities and brands that need content for their websites. They need content. Like, online video content was not a thing, really. Like, a real profitable, marketable thing. Like, streaming took over. And now, like, video streaming is such a huge, profitable market where WWE needs this content. And for them to able to scoop up TNA and have, like, another platform to just promote, hey, remember when AJ Styles was in TNA? Well, check him out here. And they can promote that, and they can do that, and they can use it how they see fit. I think that WWE is going to be the smartest people out here. They're going to win the war. And the war is not even, like, putting TNA out of business, right? It's not about, like, taking Impact Wrestling and making them go bankrupt and putting them out of business. That's not the war here. Winning the war is being the smartest businessman. Being the smartest businessman is making money off of other people's content. Seriously, think about that. You take somebody else's hard work, and then you put it with your brand, push it out there, and sell it for twice as much or whatever you want to sell it for. Like, that is smart business 101 right there, right? You take something that really isn't, like, they have some archives. They use some of the footage, but they're really not making any money off of the old TNA footage. So you take that footage, you put it on the network, and you monetize it. That's the best way to do it because, like I said, there are people interested in watching the old stuff that TNA did. There are some great moments in TNA wrestling history. You can put that on the WWE Network, and you guarantee that I will be on there watching TNA, watching old stuff, watching back old things. And I know that there's a lot of people that will do it as well. The big question, though, that everybody wants to know is, what is Billy's brand of wrestling? We don't really know what Billy's brand of wrestling is yet. We know that he has ideas and things that he wants to do, but we don't know what his final outlook is on professional wrestling and how this would all play out. I'm assuming if he took over the majority owner of the company, he would have all the same resources that he has right now, just without the library of footage or whatever. I think this is a bold move by him if he really wants to take over TNA without any video library footage, and he just wants to start fresh and make a wrestling company. I think they're going to have that Pop TV deal. I think they'll have the superstars, the roster that they want, and he'll probably scoop up some more wrestlers. But I think a number 2 wrestling company like TNA under Billy's watch is still going to be around. I think we're coming on to a new era here in professional wrestling. WWE is going to own the library, video footage library of TNA Wrestling, and then TNA Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be rebranded under Billy, and it's going to be a whole new ball game for that company. It'll be very interesting to see where this goes. I'm very intrigued, and there's a lot of what ifs that make this such a very, very intriguing it's very intriguing right now is the best way to say it. It's like you don't really know what's going to happen until anything is final. There's been nothing on their website. There's been nothing official on TV. We do know that Dixie Carter said she came out and did like a powwow saying that, yes, we still own the company. Yes, we're waiting for other companies to pay us so we can pay you guys. We have sponsors that owe us money that we need to pay you guys with. Once we get that, you'll get paid. Don't worry. And saying that, you know what, we still do have company and nobody has bought the video library yet. So she came out and said that, but it's just the time we're very intrigued. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about WWE getting the library, the tape library of TNA, and what you think of Billy's brand of professional wrestling. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. As always, TonyPizzaGuy. Too sweet.